Hello everyone, welcome to Trending Tuesday's Security Leaders Edition. I'm Sharda Tickoo, Country Manager of Trend AI India and SARC. And in this forum, we are going to cut through the hype and have some honest conversation with security practitioners who take important security decisions day in and day out. The topic that we are going to discuss today is something that gets debated in boardrooms, CIOs, forums all the time. The topic is AI in cybersecurity. Is it a strategic advantage or is it a risk amplifier? To dwell more into the topic and give the practitioner's view, I'm happy to join by Mr. Rajeev Mishra, CIO of HT Media, who's been driving digital initiatives and everything under the ambit of cybersecurity in HT Media. Thank you, Rajeev, for taking your time out. So we'll dwell into this discussion. So everyone is talking about AI in cybersecurity, right? And from your vantage point, what are the discussions that are actually happening in the boardrooms?
I think important question. The most important thing which probably discussed and people doesn't know in the background is what people ask in the boardrooms: trust and control. These are two pillars which they keep on asking. Every board meeting you'll have this question: trust and control, and how as a CISO I'm responsible for doing the business with the same simplicity, same trends and same conditions without compromising on the security, which is trust and control again.
Yeah.
So the board is more curious on this particular piece.
Thanks, Rajiv. That's a very grounded way of framing in trust and control. I think those are the conversations that are happening in the boardrooms. So from an AI standpoint, if I see that in your experience, what is that one AI-driven capabilities that your security teams are really finding useful, that they have kind of used it to the T and they really find value in that? What's that one AI-driven capability?
I think there are multiple, Shraddha, but one thing which I have been hearing and then the people are working in my team is tries.
Try it.
Yeah. Tries and further understanding of the tries is what AI has given. It used to take weeks to get the tries. Now it's a minute work. AI has helped us in giving us the tries and the further details of the concerns which happened with security breaches and all.
So I think it's interesting to see that how AI is actually delivering just not the value. I think it is giving you more context. It is also giving you more clarity. I think the triage is becoming more and more, it's just not an automation. It's also about delivering that value and giving that context. So fantastic. I think this is great. Now, a very important question, since you are, wearing a hat of a CIO. So, businesses, they want to experiment with AI. And I'm sure you are under the tremendous pressure that you have businesses reaching out to you saying that, hey, I want to use AI, I want to use maybe Gen AI, or I want to spin these LLM models, and so on and so forth. So how are you as a CIO, driving this or supporting this innovation? And if there is some advice that you want to give to your fellow CISO community members, that how can they support businesses to be more agile in adopting AI?
I think one thing CISOs has to really understand, and this is what I learned from my team. The CISO has to be flexible. They cannot be a blocker. Now, when you say AI, as a CISO, you should define that what are the AI tools they can use in the organization. They should define the personal information. They should clearly define the red line under which the entire POC, the entire business has to run. So the red line has to be very clear by the CISOs, and they can help them in growing the business.
Yeah, you said it, and then you have to drive a delicate balance between ensuring that you have control, and at the same time you're also enabling businesses to thrive. I mean, security should be looked upon as a business enabler and not as a business dampener.
Yes.
So any advice you want to give to your fellow CISOs?
CISOs has to understand the business, the need, and they should define the tools, the APIs, the security parameters, everything very carefully before giving a go-ahead to the business. But at the same time, should not be a blocker. I'm again re-emphasizing, should not be a blocker, should be enabler so that the business can grow.
Perfect. I think my next question would be that, when we are talking about AI, of course, you said that you would want business to leverage AI. So what is that, if there is one area where you would want that, hey, yes, the AI should be leveraged to the T, should be leveraged to the maximum, what would that area be? I think that's simple to answer. My follow-up question to this would be, if there is one area or one guardrail or one caution that you would want that, hey, while you are adopting AI, this is something that you should keep in mind, what would that be?
I think I just said in my previous answer, I think the red line has to be very clear. Now, since the acts are in the picture, the governance is very strict now. I think CISO should have given that where the PIIs are, how the PIIs are getting used, what kind of uses the business would be, and how it is interacting with B2B or B2C customers. So the boundaries for the business to grow should be very clearly well defined and should be acceptable by the board, by the CXOs, by the organization, that yes, this is the boundary where we have to work.
Yeah, I think it's a very practical lens that you're giving, that while, of course, everyone wants to adopt AI and there is no deterrent, but people should know that what is the inherent risk that they get exposed to once they are, adopting AI. So there has to be a balance of both, and everyone has to look into the risk aspect of it also, and not just, adopting AI blindly.
Of course.
Perfect. And I think what we have done in this here is that, in this session, we have added one more interesting element just to, make it a little more fun. It's called proactive pulses, essentially where I'm going to ask you for certain questions, and what is it that instinctively comes to your mind? You can, tell me, and then that will be the takeaway. So the first question is AI a friend or a foe?
Very interesting question. I think neither friend nor foe.
Okay.
It's a power, and power is something which you have to use it until it gets miscovered.
Power, but with power there comes a lot of responsibility. That's right. It has to be judiciously used. So well said. What is the most exciting use case ahead for AI?
Within media industry, definitely the trials and the investigations is one area which is very important, because we are the one area which is after the banking and other services, we are the second most area where we have a lot of cyber threats. The dissections, the trials, the investigation has to vehicle, and this is one area which I'm looking forward.
Another question, Rajeev. In-house versus third-party AI tools, what would you prefer and why?
So if you are data conscious, if you are particular about your domain expertise, I think in-house. If you want scalability, it's third-party.
One word to describe AI's future in cybersecurity.
Again, investigation and trials is one area which looking forward. Further details you can get, because what you used to do in the months and the weeks, you're doing it in minutes. So there is a huge market for this. All
right. Thank you for those sharp answers. Thank you for very insightful discussion. I think if there is one takeaway from today's discussion, it's this, that, AI is actually a strategic advantage when it comes to the cybersecurity in general. We are talking about not only the automation, but we are talking about giving those risk indicators that can help you truly become a proactive cybersecurity initiative. We can drive proactive cybersecurity initiative in your organizations. So thank you once again for sharing your perspective from the media industry. And thank you everyone who has joined us today in this Trend AI Trending Tuesday series. Thank you.